Okay, now we study the casual income from other source in detail. First, income from other source income is casual incomes. Okay, so what is casual income? What is casual income? Question may come for 2 marks. What is casual income? There are incomes earned casually during the financial year. These are the incomes earned casually during the financial year without any effort. Without any effort, casually income earned in the financial year in your previous year, and the receipt of casual income is accidental, not incidental, not fixed one. Accidentally, without any stipulation. Without any stipulation. If accidentally that amount is earned and there is no stipulation or there is no regularity of earning it, that type of incomes are called as casual income. So it is the income earned by chance factor. It is the income earned by chance factor, but not the fixed one. By chance, if you earn the income, that income is called as casual income. You may win the game by chance. You may win the lottery by chance. Remember this. Okay, so it is called as it is a income earned by chance. And it is in the nature of unexpected windfall. It is a unexpected windfall profit. Okay, it is the in the nature of non-recurring. These are the some factor features of casual income. ಇದು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರ ಏನು ಎಫರ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಬರ್ತೈತೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರ್ತತಿ, ಆ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ನಿಮಗ್ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗ್ತತಿ. ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗ್ತತಿ, ಇದಕ್ ಮುಂದೇನು ಬರ್ತೈತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕ ನಿಮ್ ಕಡೆ ಗಾಳಿ ಬಿಸಿತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಸಿಕ್ತತಿ. ನಾನ್ ರೆಕರಿಂಗ್, ಪದೇ ಪದೇನು ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಂಥವಕ್ಕ ನಾವೇನ್ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಕ್ಯಾಶುವಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, the casual incomes examples are winning from lottery. Winning from lottery is a casual income. It is not a regular income. Then crossword puzzles. You may win the crossword puzzle and that is also a casual income. Then card games. You play the card games. By playing card games, you earn the income. That card game income is also casual income. Then gambling or betting. You may involve in gambling activity or betting activity and earn income. That income is a casual income, not a regular income. Race including horse race, etc. All type of races. It may be car race, vehicle race, and horse race or any animal race. All type of races comes under the casual income. Okay, so these are the 5 examples of casual income. Casual income meaning casual income examples. ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶುವಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ರೈಟ್ ಎನಿ 2-3 ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶುವಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ಟೀತಾ ಮತ್ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ ನೀವು ನನಗೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಡ್ರಿ ಸರ್, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನಡೀತಿತ್ತೇನ್ರಿ ನಾವು ಆಡಾಕ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು. ಆಡಾಕ್ ನಡೀತಿತ್ತು ಬಿಡ್ತೈತಿ ಅದು ಕಾನೂನಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಟೀತಾ ನೀವು ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಗೇಮ್ ಆಡ್ರಿ, ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಕೈ ಸಿಗಾನಿಲ್ದ, ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಕೈ ಸಿಕ್ಕ್ರಿ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಗ್ಯಾಮ್ಲಿಂಗ ಬೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ ಅವು ಸುದ್ದ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಮಂದಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರ, ಆದ್ರ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಕೈ ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾ ಮಾಡಂತ ತಿಳಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರ ಅದರಿಂದ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಗಳಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಾವು. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಯು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶುವಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್. Then treatment of casual income. How to treat the casual income? These incomes are fully taxable. There is no exemption. Remember this. Regarding casual incomes, all the income is taxable. This is the first point. And no expenditure is allowed out of these incomes. There is no allowable expenses for this head. For the casual incomes, there is no allowable expenses. Sriyan and Tour. ಕ್ಯಾಶುವಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ದಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಐತೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸೇಬಲ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು ಅಲೈವಬಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ, ನಾವು ಲಾಟ್ರಿ ಹಚ್ಚಿದ್ದೀವ್ರಿ, 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡೇವಿ, 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಷನ್ ಕೂಡ ಅಂದಿರಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾರ್ರಿ, ಹೌದಾ? ಬೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ನಾವು 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಆಡಾಕ್ ಹಚ್ಚಿದ್ದೀವಿ, 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಆಡಾಕ್ ಹಚ್ಚಿ 90 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಗೆದ್ದೀವಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ನೀವು ಏನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, in related with casual incomes, whatever expenses you incur, all those expenses are not allowed. Remember this point. Only income is considered as other source income. Set of losses is not allowed. ಈ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ದಾಗ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಬೇರೆ ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರಾಗ ಹಾಕಕ್ ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಹಾಕಕ್ ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಾಸ್. Set off ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು adjustment of loss. It is not possible to adjust the loss in this item. No adjustment of loss in this item. Then tax deducted at source is at 30%. You have to pay tax on this at the rate of 30%. 30% rate of tax is applicable for casual income. This point you remember. This is the fourth point. And fifth point is, in case of price amount received is given, gross up is compulsory. If amount received is given, you have to gross up, compulsorily gross up. The gross up method I will tell you in the next class or coming class. If the amount received is given, casual income amount received is given, that is to be grossed up. Gross up procedure is there. That means the amount received is the net amount after deduction of tax. If the amount received is there, that is the income amount after deduction of tax, therefore that is to be converted into gross income. Converting the net income into gross income is called as grossing up. I will tell you in the next class or coming class. Gross up ಮಾಡು, compulsorily gross up ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾವಾಗ amount received ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರ. The price amount is given, there is no necessity of grossing. Price just is ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ gross up ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ಸರಿ ನೆನಪು. Amount received ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ gross up ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, price ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ gross up ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. And if that price is less than 10,000, don't gross up. No TDS is made from the income betting, income on betting, gambling. Remember this. Hence no grossing up of this amount. Sari ನೆನಪು. Gross up is not applicable for the gambling and betting because these incomes are received without deduction of tax, because these are illegal activities. ಸರಿ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಡು. ನೀವು ಲಾಟ್ರಿದಾಗ ಗೆದ್ರಿ, ಅದು ಲೀಗಲ್ ಐತಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. ಈ ಗ್ಯಾಮ್ಲಿಂಗ ಬೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ ಏನಿದಾವಲ್ಲ, ಇವ ಅಲಾವ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವೇನು ಗಳಿಸಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರ ಅದ್ರಾಗ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ ಆಗಿರುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕ ಇದನ್ನ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡ್ರಿ. ಯಾವ್ದು ಗ್ಯಾಮ್ಲಿಂಗ ಬೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಹೋಗಿ ಬೆಟ್ ಹಚ್ಚಿರ್ತೀರಿ, ಆ ಬೆಟ್ ಹಚ್ಚಿದ ನಂತರ ಗೆದ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು. ನಿಮಗೆ ಬಂದಟ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಮನಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿರ್ತೀರಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ? ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ನೆಟ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ which is received after deduction of tax into gross income. Converting net income into gross income is called as gross up by adding the tax deducted. That is called as gross up. This real nodkondu ittukolri. Then there is no TDS if the winning from lottery etc. is up to 10,000 or horse race is 10,000. If the amount of winning or received amount is less than 10,000 or up to 10,000. Up to 10,000, no gross up. You don't make it gross up because it is below the grossing up limit. The next is, there can be no loss from winning from lottery. From this head, there is no loss. No loss is to be counted. Loss adnanda lekkಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. Then 10th point is grossing up of casual income. Gross up, how to gross up? You take the casual income received. Casual income received into 100 divided by 100 minus TDS rate, tax deducted rate. 30% is, if the 30% is the tax, 100 minus 30 is equal to 70. If the education cess is there, you have to adjust it. You have to adjust it. Remember this point. First point is casual income clear. Regarding casual income, you remember what is casual income, then what are the examples of casual income, how to calculate casual income under the head income from other source. Next point is gift received. Gift received is the taxable income. You see here, the amount received without any consideration is called as gift. Amount received without any consideration is called as gift. It may be in the form of cash or in the form of kind. It may be in the form of cash or kind. It is taxable under the head income from other source. Remember this point. ಇದನ್ನ ಹಣದ ರೂಪದಾಗ ಬರಬಹುದು ಅಲ್ಲ ಹಣನ ಬಂದಿರಬಹುದು. ಇದು ಅದರ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸೇಬಲ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. And regarding provisions of this is the aggregate amount of gift received during the previous year up to 50,000 is not taxable. Remember this point. If gift received up to 50,000 in your previous year is not taxable. If it is more than 50,000, exceeding 50,000, then full amount is taxable. Remember this. ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೋರಿ. 50,000 ತನಕ ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತಂದ್ರ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? 50,000 1 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ನೋಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂದ್ರ 50,000 1 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಬೀಳ್ತೈತಿ. ಮತ್ ಮ್ಯಾಲಿನ 1 ರೂಪಾಯಿಕಂತ ಯಾರು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ. If it is more than 50,000, then total amount of gift is taxable. Remember this point. Up to 50,000, no tax. If you received the gift up to rupees 50,000, it is exempted from tax. If that amount received is more than 50,000, then total amount of gift received is taxable. Remember this point, it is very important. Then exemptions. The following money or property received by way of gift are exempted. Following are the money or property received as gift are not considered as gift as per the provisions of income tax. The following are not considered as gift. First is from relative. If any gift received from your relative is exempted from tax, ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ನಿಮ್ ಸಂಬಂಧಿಕರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದು gift ಅಲ್ಲ. Then on the occasion of the marriage of the individual, if the gift is received on the occasion of marriage of the individual, gift is received, that is not a gift. Then under will or by way of inheritance. As per will or by way of inheritance, whatever amount is received as gift, that is not a gift. ಹೌದಾ? ಆನುವಂಶಿಕವಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. The contemplation of death of a payer or donor. As per the contemplation of the death of the payer or the donor, if you receive, that is also not a gift. ಅವ್ನು ಕೊಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ನೀವು ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. That is not a gift. From any local authority under section 10 subsection 20, it is as per section or not a gift. Local authority. From any fund, university, hospital, etc. under section 10 subsection 23, this is also not a gift. From any trust institution registered under section 12 subsection AA is also not a gift. Okay. These 7 points are not considered as gift. Remember this. And these 7 points are not taken into consideration while calculating income from other source. ಈ 7 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಏನಾರೇ ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ದಾಗ ತಗೋಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ. This is the point. Then come to the third point. First point, casual income completed. Second point, gift is completed. Third is dividend. What is dividend? Dividend is a receipt of part of profit of a company in cash or in kind by its shareholders. Whatever amount received in the form of cash or kind by the shareholders from the part of profit. It is a part of profit distributed among the shareholders at the end of the year. That is called as dividend. And dividend means any sum received by the shareholders of a company. Okay. I think you studied this dividend in detail. I will not go for detailed explanation. Then treatment of this dividend. Dividend received from the domestic company is exempted from tax. This point you remember. Only dividend received from the domestic company is exempted. All other dividends are taxable. This is the point you remember. Whereas ಯಾವುದು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಕಂಪನಿ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಪಡೆದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಎಕ್ಸಮ್ಟ್ ಐತಿ. ಉಳಿದ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ಗಳು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸೇಬಲ್ ಇದಾವು. ಇದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಷ್ಟ ಸಾಕು. And dividend from domestic mutual fund also exempted. Mutual fund ಒಂದು exempted. Then dividend received from foreign companies fully taxable. TDS rules are not applicable. Remember this. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ TDS rule apply ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಫಾರಿನ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅವರು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಅದಕ್ಕ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆ TDS ಇಲ್ಲದ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. Then admissible deductions regarding the dividend are: one is the collection charges or commission. Whatever expense you incur for collecting the dividend, that is the allowable deduction. Second is interest on loan taken for its acquisition, investment purpose. If your loan is taken for investment purpose, that loan interest is allowable. I'll check it and tell you afterwards. This is about dividend. And dividend from cooperative societies fully taxable. Fully taxable. Here also expenses allowable. Dividend is completed. ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋರಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಹೇಳಿನಿ? ಕ್ಯಾಶುವಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಹೇಳಿನಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಹೇಳಿನಿ? ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳಿನಿ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಯಾವ್ದು? ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್. 3 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿದಾವ್. ಇದು 4th ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಐತಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾವ. ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಲೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್, ಮಷಿನರಿ, ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ವಿತ್ ಆರ್ ವಿದೌಟ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್. ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಸಮೇತವಾಗಿ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಉಳಿದು ಮಷಿನ್ಗಳು ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ, ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. Plant, machinery, furniture with or without building, if you are letting, then income from letting the plant machinery is taxable under the head other source. Okay. ಯಾವುದು? ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಸಮೇತ ಒಳಗಿನ ಮಷಿನರಿಗಳು ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ, ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಷಿನರಿ ಅಟ್ಟನು ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ, ಇಕ್ವಿಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ, ಏನಿದ್ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಯಾವ್ದು ಇನ್ಕ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇನ್ನ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಪೂರಾ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರ ಒಳಗಿನ ಕುರ್ಚಿನೂ ಬರ್ತಾವು, ಮಷೀನ್ ಬರ್ತಾವು, ಪ್ರೊಜೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಅಂತಾರ ಫ್ಯಾನ, ಇಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಬರ್ತಾವು. ಅದ್ರ ಸಂಗಟ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗು ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರೇ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್, ಇದು ಚೇರ, ಪ್ರೊಜೆಕ್ಟರ, ಆನಂತರ ಮಷೀನ, ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ ಇಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಒಂದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. ಯಾವ್ದು? ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಟಾಕೀಸ್. ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಟಾಕೀಸ್ ಪೂರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ವಿತ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್. ಒಳಗೆ ಏನ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಕುರ್ಚಿ ಬರೋಬ್ರಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಳಗಿನ ಕುರ್ಚಿ, ಆನಂತರ ಪ್ರೊಜೆಕ್ಟರ, ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಇವನ್ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ವಿದೌಟ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್. This is the example. So the following expenses are allowable. Whatever rent you receive, that is the gross income. Whatever rent you receive, that is called as gross income. In the gross income, there are allowable expenses. First is repairs is allowable. Repairs related with that property. Repairs relating to that property. Normal repairs, not the non-recurring repairs. Normal repairs is or abnormal repairs is not allowable. Normal repairs is allowable. Repairs related with property. Then second is insurance premium related with the property. Repairs relating to property, insurance premium related to property. Then again that point repeated. Third point is depreciation related to property. Property let out. And fourth point is any other recurring expense related to that property. 4 expenses are allowable. Remember this. You take the rent received. In the rent received, you deduct 4 items. One is repair relating to property let out. Second is insurance related to let out property. Third is depreciation relating to let out property. And fourth is any other expenses relating to let out property recurring in nature. 4 points you deduct. Whatever balance comes, that is the income from let out property. Income from let out property. You see the table. How to compute the let out property income. First, you take the income from let out property, furniture, building, etc. Let us consider as a rent. You consider this as a rent. Okay. Rent received total on letting the furniture, machinery, building, or any asset. Okay. Then less in this rent, you consider this as a rent. In this rent, you deduct 4 items. First item is repairs of the building. Second is insurance premium. Second is insurance premium. Third is depreciation. And fourth is any other related expenses. These 4 expenses you deduct in the total, whatever comes, that is called as net income from let out property. Net income from let out property. This is the table to calculate income from letting of plant, machinery and furniture. ಸರಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಡಿ. ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಏಟ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ತಗೋರಿ, ಅದ್ರಾಗ 4 ಐಟಮ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಒಂದೇದು ರಿಪೇರ್ಸ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟದ ರಿಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮನ್ಯಾಗಿನ ರಿಪೇರ್ ಹಾಕಿರ. ರಿಪೇರ್ಸ್, insurance, depreciation, other related expenses. You deduct and whatever balance comes, that is the income from letting the machinery, furniture, etc. With building, without building. Next is family pension. Family pension. What is family pension? Income from family pension is chargeable under this head. Family pension scheme you are having. If the family pension is received, that is taxable under the head income from other source. Okay. Regarding this, you remember 1/3 of pension received or 15,000, whichever is less, is allowable deduction. No other expenses are deductible. Family pension ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು family pension ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, you take the family pension, less exemption. Exemption limit is 1/3 of that family pension or rupees 15,000, whichever is less, you deduct. Balance is taxable pension. ಇದು ಜನರಲ್ ಪೆನ್ಷನ್ ದಾಗೂ ಬಂದೈತಿ. Then income from subletting of house property. This is the point you remember. What is the subletting? Whole or part of the let out property is let out by the tenant. If one person let out his property to the another, first person is called as landlord, second is called as tenant. Tenant occupy the property on rental base, and thereafter the tenant let the whole property or part of that property to some other person on rental base. That is called as subletting. The rent received from the subletting is chargeable under the head income from other source. ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸಬ್ಲೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೌಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. ಇದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಕ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಯಾವುದು, ನಾವು ಮೊದಲು ಮನಿ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡ ಮನಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡೋದು. ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು 3 ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನನಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಡ ಸರ್, ಮಾಲಕ್ ಒಪ್ಪಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು. ಮಾಲಕ್ ಒಪ್ಪಲಿ ಬಿಡ್ಲಿ ಅದ್ ಮಾತ್ ಬೇರೆ, ನೀವು ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡೋದು. ಅದು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ठीक है. ಅದಕ್ಕ ನೀವು ಮೊದಲು ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ತಗೋರಿ, ಆ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡ ಮನಿ ಪೂರಾ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಯಾರಿದಾವ್ ಬೇರೆ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಒಂದ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದರಿಂದ ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಭಾಗವನ್ನು ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. wholly or partially let it to some other person, that is called as subletting of house property. If the house property is subletted, then whatever rent received from the subtenant. Subtenant, you hear the word. Whatever rent received from the subtenant by the tenant. So, sorry, whatever rent received from the subtenant by the tenant is called as rent on let out property. Rent on let out property. That is the gross income. That is the gross income. In the gross income, you have to deduct the expenses incurred by the tenant on the let out property are admissible. Whatever expenses incurred by the tenant on the let out property, sub let out property, all the expenses are allowable. Remember this. Admissible deductions. First is proportion rent paid to the owner of the house. Whatever rent paid to the owner of the house is first allowable deduction. ಒಂದನೇದು ಯಾವ್ದು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾಲಕಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತ ಅದು allowable. ಮಾಲಕ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಒಂದನೇದು allowable. ಯಾರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ? ಟೆನೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದ. Then second is the repairs, renewals, insurance, ground rent, land revenue, all type of expenses. Remember, all the expenses. I'm telling in one sentence. All the expenses incurred by the tenant on subletted property is allowable expense. ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೆನಪು. ಒಂದ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಾಕತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗ. ಇವ್ ಟೆನೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ದವ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತ, ಆ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾನು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿದ, ಏನಾನು ಇವು ಖರ್ಚಾಗಿದಾವು, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ allowable. ಅಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ರೆಂಟ್ದಾಗ ಕಳೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಅವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ರೆಂಟ್ದಾಗ ಕಳೀರಿ. ಉಳ್ದದ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಸಬ್ಲೆಟಿಂಗ್ ದಾಗ. You see the table. How to compute it? First you take the income from subletting of house property. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಬರಿಬೇಡ್ರಿ, ನಾನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. Rent from subletting. Subletting rent rate ಬಂದೈತಿ ತಗೋರು. Okay, this is the gross income. In that income you deduct. What to deduct? Proportionate rent paid for the house property applicable to sublet out. This is the first point. ಏನಾನು ಕಳೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನೀವು ಕಳಿಬೇಕಾದದ್ದು ರೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟದ್ದು. ಯಾರಿಗೆ? ಮಾಲಕಗೆ. ಯಾತ್ರದ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ ಅಟ್ಟ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ. I will take one example and explain you in the coming days. First you see the table. Under that first is rent paid to landlord. I'll change it. Wait. Proportionate rent paid to landlord. ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರ ಮಾತ್ರ ರೆಂಟ್. ಇದು 7th ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೀನಿ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಈಗ ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತ ಬರ್ರಿ. Repairs and renewal charges paid by the tenant. Then next is municipal tax paid by the tenant. Next is insurance premium paid by the tenant. Ground rent paid by the tenant. Land revenue paid by the tenant. Any other expense paid by the tenant. Any other expense paid by the tenant related with the let out portion. Related with let out portion. You take the total to the outer column and deduct in the outer column. Whatever remains, that is called as income from let out property. Income from let out subletting of house property. Income from subletting of house property. ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಇದು ನೋಡ್ಕೊ. ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟದ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಐತಿ, ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಂದೈತಿ, ಆ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರ ಏನ್ ಕಳೀರಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟದ್ದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ಬೇಕು. Tenant has incurred the expense. Then only you deduct. Not the landlord expenses. Not the landlord expenses. Remember this point. This is the point connection with subletting of house property. This is also a point you remember. ಇದು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ನೀವು ಈ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿಟ್ಕೋರಿ. Then income from royalty. Income from royalty. Already told income from royalty is taxable under head other source. Royalty received by the landlord, royalty received by the author, royalty received by the patentee. Royalty received by the patentee in the are taxable under the head income from other source. And here are certain allowable expenses. Here are some allowable expense. That expense may be relating to manuscript expense. Whatever expense connected with that royalty. To earn royalty, whatever expenses the lesser in cost, all the expenses are allowable. First is manuscript related with the author. Remuneration given to employees for collection of the royalty, then collection charges and other expenses incurred in connection with the royalty. Only one sentence you remember, whatever expense you incur to earn the royalty, all the expenses are allowable. All the expenses are allowable. That must be related with royalty. This is the income from royalty. You take the gross royalty and deduct allowable expenses. Deduct related expenses. This is the point you remember regarding income from royalties. How to calculate royalty income? You take royalty income first, less manuscript expense, remuneration to employee, collection charges, then other expenses related with royalty. Take the gross royalty outer column, less the allowable expense. Whatever balance remains, that balance is called as net income under other source. The net income comes to other source. This is regarding other source. Okay. Then income from undisclosed sources or unexplained incomes. ಇದನ್ನೀಗಾಗಲೇ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡೀನಿ, ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಅನ್ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸೇಬಲ್, ಅದು ಫುಲ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸೇಬಲ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು ಎಕ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. This is enough for today, and the remaining points I'll discuss in the next class. Remaining points I'll discuss in the next class. Thank you.